day.
There's so much anticipation riding on this match. I think people have seen some of the best encounters between these two.
Mary Pierce, her favourite place in the world must be Palermo. She's reached the final there the past 3 years, claiming the title twice. 1993 also brought her her 7th career title with a victory, as she just mentioned, in the Porsche Grand Prix at Fielderstadt, for which she received a car, among other things. She also reached the round of 16 at the French Championships, the United States Open, and of course was a quarter-finalist here last year, losing, as you've seen in some dramatic replays, to Gabriela Sabatini after having match point in the second set tie-break, which Sabatini finally won 14 points to 12 and went on to win 6-love in the third. Sabatini, well, she is always a contender at the business end of the big Grand Slam tournaments. Former winner of the United States Open 1990, runner-up at Wimbledon in 91, 5 times semi-finalist at the French, 3 times here at the Australian Open Championship. After beating Pierce here last year, she lost a similarly dramatic quarter-final match at the French Open to Mary Jo Fernandez after leading a set and 5-1. She's won 6 Grand Slam doubles titles through 92 and 93 with Natalia Zvereva, but failed to close out the Grand Slam. And hasn't won a tournament in nearly 18 months, which is quite remarkable. Umpire for this match, Donna Ring from Sydney. And important, I didn't say that Mary Pierce subsequently defeated Gabriela Sabatini in the quarterfinals of the Virginia Slims Championships in New York and beat Martina Navratilova in the semifinals.
In a really excellent match that, although that match also ended on a very controversial call to give Mary Pierce the match. Mary has been working with Nick Bollettieri, who actually isn't here, but since after the US Open, she's matured a lot in the last 4 or 5 months. She's added more variety to her game, and she's begun to relax and move better. Now, she doesn't think that she's moving quite as well this tournament, and I don't think she's playing quite as well as she was at the Virginia Slims Championship. So, therefore, I think that this match is going to depend more on Mary Pierce than Gabby.
Time.
Sabatini has won the toss. She's elected to receive, so Mary Pierce will be serving first.
And that's really not a bad tactic from Gabby. Give herself a chance to get into the match. I'm sure that both players are going to be somewhat nervous. I mean, this has been touted as a huge contest, and plus they had to follow Lendl and Sampras, which, you know, is quite a hard act to follow. Carlos Kiermaier, who is back as Gabriela's coach since the beginning of this year, and I think that he did so many good things for her that we'll see her bounding back into form this year.
Thank you. Mary Pierce to serve. Play. Out. 15-love. Oh. 30-love.
She's improved her service action.
You know, the whole week, he had it all planned.
$40 love.
Well, Gabby's tactic of returning serve in the opening game has not paid off yet. She at least needs to get into longer rallies to get a feel.
Brilliant touch from Mary Pierce early in the match. She leads by 1 game to love, and we go to court 1 with Wendy Turnbull.
The action on court.
Sabatini in the opening set on centre court.
Love 15.
Mary Pierce has been very adequate so far. That was the first time she missed a serve and very few errors. Gabby is the one who just hasn't got herself into gear yet. Early days, though.
Love 30.
Well, you've seen 2 unforced errors just in this last couple of points from Mary Pierce. 2 of only 3 that she's hit in the first 4.5 games.
When she's in trouble, she makes very certain that she gets her first serve and she puts a little more spin on it, and she got that nice short return to go and capitalize on it.
No!
Oh! 15-40. Game 17.
And break back for Sabatini. 3-2 the score. Some high cloud moving over the city of Melbourne, contrast to the earlier clear blue skies. Still warm though. And a contest developing here on the centre court. The rematch between Gabriela Sabatini, Mary Pierce. I think introducing the match, I may have inadvertently credited Gabriela Sabatini with winning a couple of Grand Slam doubles last year. I don't know what came over me. Maybe just the sight of her made me dizzy.
Love 15.
Nobody has hit their stride yet here. Gabby's objective in this match is to try to mix up her game a lot, produce a variety of spins and pace.
Oh! 15 all.
Shades of last year. Pearce glaring at the linesman, the umpire, thinking there was an out ball in that rally. No. Long and wide, the topspin lob.
30-15.
Thinking of Mary disputing calls, she definitely seems to be better this tournament than she has been. Just a chance to look at both players together.
Oh.
30 all.
Sabatini was expecting the cross court and started to move that way.
Real danger for Sabatini when she hits the ball short. She has got to keep it deep.
Game 17. Three games all.
Sabatini has played 27 tournaments without a victory since the Italian Open of 1992. First serve percentage very high for Mary Pearce and a good percentage won.
Love 15.
Sabatini was the first one to make a move from the baseline.
And Gabby is definitely managing to create some interesting angles and plays here. This had a lot of purpose, and she was very quick to decide to come in. It makes such a difference to her game if she decides to be decisive and attacking.
Love 30.
A little erratic, Mary Pierce.
She didn't miss a ball the first couple of games, but she's missed a few. Since then, we've had a break of serve each way. And she's down love 30.
Love 40.
A real indication of her lack of rhythm out here. And that's where Mary is so good. You know, she's so powerful. Usually just waits for the shorter ball and pounds it into a corner, but she's not got herself any rhythm yet.
3 break points for Sabatini. One is enough to give the number 4 seed a lead. 4 games to 3, first set. Gabriela Sabatini has the service break, leads Mary Pierce 4 games to 3. Sun shining brightly, the match is warming up, and so is John Barrett at courtside.
Well, yes, it is pretty warm down here, Gary, but what Virginia was saying earlier about the change of pace that Gabby is providing is very noticeable here. The speed at which the ball crosses the net very fast when Pierce hits it, and usually with the heavy topspin of Sabatini much slower. And it's the change of pace sometimes when Sabatini pounces and hits it a little tighter. The change is worrying Pierce at the moment.
Love 15.
Yeah, it's the one thing from where we're sitting that we can't really judge as the height that the ball crosses the net at. You can certainly see tactics from this position, though.
Love 30.
Well, she certainly connected with that one. Sabatini has at all costs got to try to stop her getting into her pounding rhythm. Precisely what I said, you know, if Mary doesn't find that rhythm, she doesn't really have an in-between game. It's like all or nothing.
Out. 40-30.
Good mixture of serves from Gabby there. The fast one down the center and then that much slower one kicking up to her forehand.
Game 17.
5 games to 3, Sabatini leads. We check the situation now between Lindsay Davenport and Mary Jo Fernandez on court 1. Here's Wendy Turnbull.
Sabatini leads 5 games to 3.
So Mary Pierce struggling at the moment to stay in this first set with Sabatini.
Love 15.
And Mary Pierce and Lindsay Davenport vying for who hits the ball hardest in the women's tour.
Hitting hard is fine as long as you hit it in.
Yeah, that slipped in.
Love 30.
Oh, looked for all the world like it was going to go long and or wide. Pierce can't. Yes, it was in.
It looked as if it was going to go wide and long, as you said, and I
think it went wide, actually.
Yeah, it might have.
It landed on the line, but wide on the doubles, extended line for the doubles court.
So many people were thinking that Mary Pierce was going to be an automatic winner in this match, despite their close matches before. I think that's hurt her, that expectation.
Oh! 15-14.
Unforced errors continue to flow from the racket of Mary Pierce. 2 set points for Gabriela Sabatini. The cross-court winner gives the first set to Sabatini in just 31 minutes. 6 games to 3.
We pick it up at the beginning of the second.
Seats, please. Quiet, please. Thank you.
Score last year in Sabatini's favour was 4-6, 7-6. That tiebreak was 14-12, and that's where the 3 match points were that Pierce had. And the third set, 6-love to Sabatini. She's set up here and serving. Mary Pierce has a new mentor in her life, no longer her father, who's been banned from every stadium where she plays after his violent conduct, but somebody you'll have heard of before. Pierce these days is coached by Nick Politieri. Interesting one. Her and Boris Becker. A new hand to play.
Wonderful shot, but they're spasmodic, these winners.
About Mary Pierce is that she needs to be able to give the ball a huge hit.
It's refreshing hitting on both wings, this, isn't it? Lovely shot on the run.
30-40.
She hits a much flatter ball than Sabatini and therefore is more prone to error. Faster through the air and off the ground, but dangerous unless you're very accurate.
To you.
Sometimes lacking a little restraint, don't you think?
Yeah, she has a very refreshing, you can read her emotions much more than most players.
They're two most decorative players, aren't they, the blonde and the brunette? And I'd say that I'm completely disinterested. I think the Sabatini looks lovely too.
Few would disagree with you, Jerry. Quite a contrast.
Advantage Sabatini.
And so the tactics are very clear to understand. This girl whacks it, and the other girl gets it back. Pearce's blockbusters simply aren't winning all the big points. Sabatini there with 15-40.
First game, second set.
You're watching.
Thank you, quiet please.
The problem, it seems to me, for Mary Pierce is to show a little bit of wisdom and restraint when it's needed. She can't just go out and sock it to him all the time and expect the ball always to go in. Having said that, she does know what she does well, but do you remember that match she played at US Open 2 or 3 years ago? Or I don't know if you were there with me doing the commentary. She walked out to a night match and she just hit every ball blindingly hard. They all went out for about 3/4 of an hour.
Yeah, I didn't do the match, but I remember it. Must have been a horror story. This could develop into a similar horror story, because she's hitting the ball pretty well, but out. So it's not pretty well. Gabby's shots have a high bounce with all this loop topspin, and that's difficult to control, really. Pierce presents an easier shot to her opponent.
15 all.
It's hit flatter and lower.
All.
Very tall girl, 5'11". About 2 inches the taller.
30-40.
Well, I don't know, if you're 6 love, 5 love, 40 love up, that might have been a reasonable shot to choose.
Discretion not her strongest virtue. Well, at the moment anyway, in her development as a player.
Not enough height under it.
Game 17.
To love, not set to love, Sabatini.
Sabatini leads 2 games to love.
What Sabatini needs, or has needed for a little while, one senses, is a fresh vision. Because she hasn't won a title since she won the Italian Championships, Italian Open, in 1992. She beat Sellers in the final. It was a real peak. Since then, Sabatini has played 27 tournaments and failed to win any title.
Love 15.
Another blinding winner, but there's a very small margin of error on these shots.
all.
Lovely smash there. Good style. One of the things about this girl is that she plays with real style. She even walks with style, like a model.
That's clever.
Difficult shot played by Sabatini very well here. She just feathers across the ball, kills the pace, gets the angle.
Out, dear. Advantage 17.
Mary Pierce shaking her head as though she didn't intend that blistering backhand. Now you can look very hard at Mary Pierce and not see any muscles, but it's all done with timing. She leans into this well. Beautiful timing. See, there are no muscles on show in those arms at all.
Well, clever approach. Got underneath that ball. She could have been love 3 down. Instead, Sabatini leads by 1 set.
Sabatini leads 2
by
games
2 games
to
to
1.
1.
Please, thank you. Please, a referee.
One, two.
She really does bang the most startling winners. It was a sensible moon ball to give herself time for that. Sabatini showing us good tactics here and reminding us that she's a good volleyer. She won the Wimbledon doubles in 1988 with Steffi Graf. You don't do that unless you can volley.
I often think that Sabatini returns more shots from wide and deep positions than almost any goal in the game. But I mean, I think against the fierceness of this hitting now, deep and wide for the corners, she's beginning to make inroads into the almost impregnable Sabatini defence.
Yes, that's always on the cards, as long as she can keep these drives under control. There are signs now that they are getting under control. They certainly weren't in the latter stages of the first set.
Yes, look at those. 23 unforced errors. Well, a lot of them aren't unforced, but it tells you a lot.
30-40. Game 17.
Too rash. Set 3-1. Sabatini
Sabatini
leads.
leads 3 games to 1.
Downtown Melbourne. Lovely surrounds for this club. Nice green playing fields, Melbourne Cricket Ground. Yes, you were saying, and I agree, Jerry, she's a great scrambler, Sabatini, and she often returns these scrambled gets of hers with a lot of interest.